the freedom to enjoy the pleasures of life. Sitting in the park, talking to a friend, walking down the street. We take normalcy for granted until it is taken away from us. Today, medication gives us choices we never had before to be normal. Methadone is one such medication. Like insulin for diabetes, antidepressants for depression, the nicotine patch for smoking, Methadone allows heroin addicts to once again experience the joy of being normal. What do you know about methadone?
Maybe something that helps you remember things.
Methadone. It's like a disease that young children would have or something like that, you know?
To give them the same sensation as cocaine would, I suppose.
Exercise. I say exercise drug. Or vitamin, multivitamin or something.
That's what people on the street think. Patients who experience the healing effects and positive outcomes of methadone have a different perspective.
I still, look at some people and I think, oh, heroin addict, that's bad. Shooting dope, that's terrible. I can't even believe I ever did it.
Fear of death and the fear of dying or the fear of being beat up or robbed were all secondary to my addiction.
It's like having a hammer banging in your head 24/7, and methadone took the hammer away.
I've been in the computer business for about 20 years. Currently, I'm doing a lot of work with electronic commerce over the internet. Methadone has given me the ability to stop the chaos in my life. It's given me some stability. I have never felt better in my life. I feel more alive. I feel more awake. I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm ready to go. When I was using, I had to have a syringe next to my bed so that before I got to bed, I had to put heroin in my body just to get up. Being a father is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I have experienced joy and love beyond all belief, and one thing I have learned is unconditional love for both my son, and I feel that he has unconditional love for me, and I feel that he accepts me for what I am.
Hurry, hurry, find the fire.
I'm a teacher basically, and that's pretty neat for me because coming from where I came from, that's a pretty big step. We have a strict curriculum, and we follow the same schedule every day because 2-year-olds need that. They need the stability. My life has changed. You can see it right here. I have a family, and I have a family now. Before I didn't have a family, and I've got a real life, a job. I come home and I cook dinner, and we go to the movies together, and we go to the parks together. We go on vacations together. That's something I never did before, something I never had.
I have to admit initially that I was misinformed and ignorant to the benefits that methadone can play in one's life. I do have to say that in dabbling and being somewhat in the medical field, I thought I would have a clear understanding. But it's more of an experience, an overwhelming need to understand information to learn about methadone, of which I knew nothing about. And to see how, if properly managed, and if one has the desire to not be where they were before, I am just in awe to see how it plays a functioning role in our relationship and in my wife's happiness.
When Joe first started using drugs, he was very young, and I believe he started with alcohol and just moved up the line, as many young people do. And I believed that if you were strong and that if you had really good willpower and that you didn't need any drugs. For me, methadone was for people who were weak, for people who could not get clean and stay clean. And the medication that they were taking, the methadone that they were taking, gave them, in my opinion, because I didn't know, the same high that the heroin would give them. And I wonder why I stayed so ignorant for so many years, but I did. And 30 years is a long time to waste believing that your son is too weak to really get clean. I don't think there are any words to tell you what it's like to have Joseph back in my life again. It's almost like he's a brother again. He's a godfather. He's an uncle. He's my son. I didn't think I'd ever see this day. You know, I didn't think I'd ever see this day. I just love you more than anything, Joseph.
I feel good. I feel healthy. I feel normal again. It's like being a kid again, you know, when you were 10 years old and you were just like all the other kids. You didn't even think about it. You were just normal. Well, now I've got that back. I guess it's a feeling of joy, you know? I mean, it's hard to describe unless you've been there, but for me, it's the joy of being normal.